Today's video is brought to you courtesy of evoretro. evoretro. You can get a nice intro like this too if you give me a hat. Well, hello there, real gamers, and all you gatekeepers out there. Retro Rob here, and welcome to Retro Rob Plays Everything. Today, I've got a steering wheel sent to me by evoretro. Not evil, it's evoretro. And I've been covering quite a few steering wheels over the last, I don't know, couple years or so. And a lot of them, like PXN steering wheels, they've been going further and further into the simulation market. This goes the opposite direction. This is an inexpensive steering wheel. It's a sub $100 one that's more aimed towards the arcade market. And you'll see why that is as I go through it a little bit. But anyway, they're going for some durability. They wanted to go for something that has a very strong like feedback function on it. And again, I haven't tested it yet. I know this is like one of the few times I didn't record the beginning at the end, but I'm going to test for all those things. Supposedly works on PC and the Switch and PS4 as well. I don't have a PS4 to test with, so we won't be doing the PS4, I'm afraid. But I will test it on my Mac just for fun. We'll see how that works. Anyway, I suppose we should get going as we always do with the front of the box. evoretro Fury GT-EV3 gaming steering wheel for Switch, PS4, and PC. Don't mention the N-word. Here's the back of the box. Coil spring mechanism, gear lever, vibration feedback, handbrake, and 270-degree rotation, that is the official rotation of arcade games, by the way. Most of the simulation ones go all the way around. Yeah. Holy crud, they've got their phone number on the box. Get the heck out of here. I love doing these videos with like big boxes. I had the worst time deciding what angle I'm going to go with on it. Sounded like my voice just broke. I finally hit puberty. Darn. So I decided on this. So if this is the worst angle, that would be about right, you know? Alrighty then. Look at that. First things first, we do have a manual here. And it is, get out! It's full color, which I'm not really used to seeing. Huh. Like, it folds out. Huh. Oh, I'm looking at it myself and not showing you. There we go. I see a lot of flimsy one pieces of paper in the biz, so, you know. The unboxing biz, of which I'm such a big name. Well, I'm in a mood today. Alright, number one. Here is the steering wheel itself, and we'll cut away to it pretty soon. And it feels pretty solid, actually. The plastic feels decent. It's got a couple of clamps down below. I'll show you that later. It comes with a handy carrying bag. That says evoretro on it. There you go. And then there are the pedals, and this is the most curious part of it that I've found, that the pedals do not have like a clutch. So it's just a brake and accelerator, which makes it more of an arcade thing. And that's basically all that's in the box. It's a two-piecer. Very easy to set up, I would think. Let's try it out. All right, real quick, I wanted to show you the clamping mechanism on this because it's pretty darn cool. Clamps down here, and at the top is a tightener, and you can tighten and loosen it like this. Makes it really fast to set up versus other steering wheels I've seen. This block, it is used if your table has an overhang. So you can turn the block up, and then it will be able to catch the table past your overhang so you don't do damage to it. Alright, buttons, bits, and bobs. That I know so far from the manual. Anyway, we've got the steering wheel here. This is pretty decently built. The plastics feel good. There's no rubberization or anything going on here, no leather. The bumpers right here, which generally operate shifting, you know, shift up, shift down. These feel, they're a little bit plasticky, but they don't feel like they're gonna break or anything. I've put quite a bit of pressure on them just playing around. They don't seem to want to break or anything, so I'm okay with those. You got a D-pad here, feels just fine. Sensitivity setting. You've got start, back, mode setting, and then you've got the public relations button. No, that's a programming button. You also got left and right trigger, and I'm not sure what these are. These are not marked in there, so I'm not sure whether this is a left side button, right side button as a backup for these. Not sure. We will test to see what that does. Left stick button and right stick button. I'm an idiot. A, B, X, Y. We also have a 2-position shifter. Actually, it's 3. They're centered. But you can go like this, up and down. It feels like it can take a beating. You've also got a handbrake button right on the side. Right there. And it feels nice and clicky. Next we got the pedals, and this is kind of an interesting choice. I'm amazed they don't have 3 pedals on here because that's so common. But I suppose without a full shifter, you don't really need them. Anyway, they feel fine. They're heavy enough, and both the pedals feel decent. They're made out of a sturdy plastic. They're not super heavy, but they're not super light. They're just kind of in the middle there. And we'll see how the walking goes when I play it. All right, let's get going on connections. First things first, we got this USB Type A connector. I said it C twice, even though I know what it is. It's terrifying. Anyway, this is connected to the unit. It's about 6 feet long, which is plenty long because I have had problems in the past with cables that aren't long enough and I had to put an extension in. So it's nice to see that that one's long enough. And that's especially useful considering the fact that this is intended to be basically a mobile type of setup. Anyway, next we've got USB Type B connector over here. This is the one that connects the foot pedals. And that cable comes with it. And it's about 5 feet long. So there we go. Oop. Why is it there's a 50% chance of you putting that in right, not watching, but you always get it wrong. Every time. Alright, third we have another USB Type A connector, and this is a pass-through if you have a PS4. So you can pass through the PS4 controller, and that's how you get the PS4 controller to work. That's all the connections you got. That easy. Alright folks, programming the steering wheel is super simple. First things first, right and left steering sensitivity. Hold the sensitivity button, press up to increase the sensitivity. You see the light flash 5 times. If I can't go any higher, see, it doesn't do anything. Press down to decrease sensitivity. There's 3 sensitivity settings, and they seem to work with everything I've tested. So it's simple enough and not a lot of work. Next, program. Got this program button right here. Hold it until all 4 lights light up. Then say I want to set the shifter. I'm going to press up on it, and I want to turn it into the right bumper. There we go. It's programmed. If I want to clear everything back out, I hit and hold start and back. And it's going to vibrate a little bit. Come on. Keep going. And eventually it will flash. There you go. And it's cleared. This time it didn't vibrate. Interesting. Sometimes it does. Just note that. For some reason, I did not record a segue for this section, so on to the gameplay, I guess. Alright, time for some Twister Terror in Cruisin' Blast. See how this goes. I consistently do worse with a steering wheel on these games. There we go. And the only thing that I've done is I've mapped the pedals to the B and A buttons respectively. I've not made any adjustments. It seems okay. Huh. Usually I have some severe messing around to do. Out of here. That was ridiculous. Alright, let's... Oh, I missed a key that was right there. It sucks. Yeah, I'd like to get some bucks, but I'm not having a terrible time staying in the middle of the road, which is kind of nice. Go. And I was able to sneak off onto the side track, which also is something. It's not that easy to do that late in the game. Let's boost out. I'm in third right now. Ooh. Get out of here. I really need to hit that. There we go. Do I have one more? Yes, I do. First place, not bad. Alright folks, right now I'm playing Drive, which is absolutely not meant to be used with a steering wheel. I've got this sucker set to minimum. Oh man. This is brave. Alright, I got some gas. And here we go. Okay, just careful driving. Careful. I've got it back under control. And who the heck does this stuff? It's out of control. I am zigging back and forth, which is kind of expected with a steering wheel. I'm amazed I've made it this far, to be honest. There we go. Heck yeah! Oh. Yeah. Well, I mean, I didn't really expect it to work at all, so, I mean, not actually be usable. So, I guess I'll give it a pass on this. And here we go with some Horizon Chase Turbo. I've got the A and B buttons programmed to the pedals, and I've got the sensitivity set on medium. Which seems to work pretty darn well for this game. I did originally try it on low, and that seemed to work as well, but it's a little bit more snappy on medium. Come on. Second place. Oh, this is roughing me up a little. Come on. And in this game, these controls work super well. That kind of adds to my opinion that this wheel is largely designed for arcade racing. Because I have to say, I don't think I've used a steering wheel on an arcade game where I felt terribly comfortable with it, and this is just fine. No trouble. You know who really sucks at Virtua Racing? This guy. And you know what? I still suck at Virtua Racing. But I am going to tell you this. I am no worse. I might be no better, but I am no worse. That's actually saying something, considering. Hold on a second, though. A little bit of focus here, to be honest. And I can do fairly okay. Come on. Cut those corners a little too early. There we go. I mean, I'm not flying off all the time, which is better than I do with a D-pad most of the time. Come on. Come on. This is actually what this controller is really, really good for. And it just feels like I'm playing an arcade game. I mean, I am playing an arcade game, but you know what I mean. I feel like I'm playing in the arcade. And I've barely had to set up anything on it, which is pretty cool, to be honest. Alright, I'm doing better than I did last time. I think I did 6th last time, so there's a good chance I'm going to improve. Come on. Yeah, I'm in 5th now. Come on. I'm wondering, I'm on medium. I wonder if I went on low sensitivity, if it would even be better, but, you know, it does feel pretty darn good. Ooh. He says as he wipes out around the corner. Oh, come on, no! Get the heck out of my way. Come on. He got out of my way. Wise decision. Did I just lap that guy? Was that guy not the one that would have put me into 4th? That sucks. I've always found this game to be... Ooh. There we go. Super difficult. Come on. Yeah, that cost me. Brought it back under control, though. Will I make it through the whole race? I think not. Considering I only have 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. But still, really, the game felt great. I do suck at it, though. Never mind me, just sitting here at my steering wheel playing Space Invaders. Don't judge me. Because I'm kicking butt. I'm not. This is a terrible idea. However, it's kind of cool using the foot pedal to fire. Yeah, I'm a gaming genius. Just saying. Let's go on. Hey folks, sadly this will not work on your M series Mac, most likely, and that is because Macs are basically set up to support Xbox and PlayStation wireless controllers only. Some wired controllers do occasionally work on this, but it's going to become less and less compatible as time goes on, largely because they've really pushed towards only supporting those 2 platforms. So, sorry about that. Older Macs, you might work fine. Also, things like MAME might work as well on it. It's just you're going to have a hard haul getting it to work with it. Boo, Mac! Ladies and gentlemen, this is Wreckfest, played on the Steam Deck, with the Fury EV3. I'm playing it through my recording equipment, which is another daring thing, because there's a slight latency when I use my recording equipment, even though it's It's not supposed to provide any. Or add any. Here we go. Good, good, good. One interesting thing is that on the Steam Deck, it doesn't seem to pass through the vibration function. It will sometimes, however, vibrate the Steam Deck while you're playing. However, the controller itself works just fine. And I've set my settings as far as sensitivity to low. As you recall, there's 3 settings. And pretty much everything else came up automatically. The accelerator was picked up, or the pedals were picked up right away. And nothing else really had to be set. So I declare that pretty cool. Gotta like it. I swear this game is brutal. Really need to upgrade this car. Alright, let's go on. Right now, I'm playing Crash Drive 3 with a steering wheel, which is just silly, but the game I'm playing right now is called Catch the Robbers. And Crash Drive 3 is an online, I don't want to call it a racing game. It's a racing activity game, I guess is the best thing to call it. And there's a bunch of little events where either you have to collect things or run away from everybody else. It's pretty, it's a pretty cool experience. It's a very inexpensive game. And there's almost always people online to play. I don't think I've ever been on where there hasn't been people to play online against, because, you know, it's a mobile game as well. But anyway, it is fun as heck to play, and I realize I'm not really paying a lot of attention to the game I'm playing, thus ruining it for everybody. But just fun as heck, and I recommend it. And of course, the steering wheel works with it, of course. I recommend you set the sensitivity to low, though, so you don't get a lot of oversteer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Slipstream, and it is freaking brutal. One of the things that's really hard to pick up about it is the drifting function. However, with pedals, it's really easy to drift in this game, I found. It's a lot easier. I'm still kind of coming to terms with playing it with a steering wheel, but it's pretty fun. Oh, stay on that edge. There we go. And that's kind of the point. There you go. Use that drift function. There we go. Yeah, I drift a lot in this game. There we go. One cool thing about it is this rewind function. So I can rewind to before I had the accident. See that? And then get super angry as I do it again. Pretty darn cool. Yeah, that's Slipstream for you. If you've never played this game, it's pretty darn cheap and definitely worth picking up, by the way. Let's go a little bit. But as you can see, doing just fine, other than my rival picking on me. Let's go on. When plugged into a Windows device like this amazing Surface Pro here, the Fury GT shows up as an Xbox controller. Therefore, it's compatible with pretty much anything you can run under Windows as long as it supports the Xbox controller. In this case, I've mapped the shifter so I can up and down shift through it. And that's just done through this programming here. Pretty simple and very reliable as far as actually being able to work. And there we go. Has not improved my driving skill though. And the fact that this Surface Pro is 1,000,000 years old makes this game run like crap. But works pretty much perfectly. Oops. I can't drive. Let's wrap things up. And that wraps it up for the Fury GT-EV3 racing wheel by evoretro. I want to thank you guys for sending it out, by the way. Appreciate it. Anyway, all in all, I found that it's pretty darn durable. I liked the steering wheel itself. The assembly was really tough. I was a little bit worried at first about those flippers that do the shifting, but during use, I really didn't notice it at all. That said, I would have preferred metal, but hey, you can't have everything now, can you? As far as the foot pedals go, they were pretty light. However, I don't think they walked even once during my testing, and I tested both on carpet and on the wood out in the living room. They do have some rubber pads, but they don't seem to be anything more than, you know, what other companies provide. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's smaller and it was just enough grip to keep it down. Not 100% sure. I really like the way those screw clamps work on the stick itself. I found those are really, really great. They might want to add a little bit of rubber to the surfaces on that. By the way, you could probably buy that for a few bucks as well in a little strip and add it to it if you're having problems with it walking. But the number one thing that I found with it that you've got to keep in mind is make sure that those clamps press all the way up against the table that you're clamping it to. I found that it would walk if I didn't, but if I got it right up against the table, it seemed to work just fine. I didn't have any problems after that. So just monitor that when you're doing it. But it's a great little system, very easy to hook up and use. I found the EV3 to be super compatible across the board, especially on the Nintendo Switch, where it performed on every game I tried it with. I mean, it was just crazy how well it was working, especially when in the past with simulation controllers, I had a lot of fighting with it, a lot of configuring to do. This thing, you just plugged it in and it worked. If you're using a Switch, this is probably a great option for that because, again, just really works great. Doesn't have features that you can't use, which you find with a lot of the high-end racing wheels. It's just like, what, you're never going to use a full shifting kit with a Nintendo Switch. But anyway, let's keep talking about compatibility. It was usable on the Steam Deck. I did try a number of games, and most of them did work with it. It was way more hit and miss than it was with the Switch, but it did work much of the time. I always like experimenting with that thing anyway. Another note, I did try it with the Evercade. There was a couple glitches, oddly, with the B button, but I was actually able to play arcade games with it. So you could technically plug this thing into an Evercade and use it. Wouldn't make it my primary, though. In Windows, of course, it's highly compatible. Note that this is an X input device, not a D input device. You don't have the option to do D input. So if that matters to you, it's going to matter during this. So it makes it a little bit less compatible, but I did find it was a little bit better with arcade racers than most of them are. Again, just due to the way it's tuned out, it works really, really well with arcade games, where simulation games, it's a little bit weaker on. All in all, I enjoyed my time with the EV3 and had a lot of fun with it. I think one of the things to consider when you're thinking about getting this is whether you want an arcade wheel or you want a simulation wheel. And I'll give you a good example. My simulation wheels, when I pack them up, I got to be really careful. So if I'm going to take it out, I'm going to have to plan for taking that thing out of the box, carefully setting it up, and getting everything ready and tuned in on it. The Fury GT-EV3, what you do is you pull it out of that silly bag they included, you just slap it on the desk, tighten it down, and plug it in. There is like almost no configuration and no thought. And since you didn't spend that much on it, you're not worried about throwing it into a bag. It also makes it very portable, so you can throw it on one arm, and you got your laptop on the other arm. So it's really convenient that way. It's going to be a good one, I think, for kids or people who aren't heavily into simulation. Maybe want to do a little bit of simulation, but want to do a lot of arcade. This is also something you could haul off to a LAN party if you're likely to go to those. It'd be something neat to have around. You know, I mean, you're not afraid to break it, and basically it's compatible with everything. I would definitely recommend this if you got a Nintendo Switch, and it'd be another good choice if you've got a mobile gaming device like a laptop. It would be really good for that. I want to thank you very much for watching this video. If you found it fun, useful, or entertaining, please do me a big favor. Give me a thumbs up, subscribe for more, do some commenting down below because it keeps the channel going, and I'll see you in a couple days. Bye!